Discover connection, awaken sacredness, become empowered. Join us for our show on Blog Talk Radio. Discover your spiritual gifts live.
Welcome to Discover Your Spiritual Gifts Live, show number 12. We are your hosts, Dave,
Jason.
Vialet.
Our guest today is entrepreneur, humanitarian, and international speaker, Mark and Dr. Dream Peebler, who has over 20 years' experience guiding, mentoring, and empowering students, organizations, and corporations in building, reaching, and sustaining their full potential. Dr. Dream is accomplished in healing work with Rife Frequencies, guided visualizations, crystal therapy, essential oils, and flower essences. He is also a Reiki Master and an Ordained Minister. Welcome, Dr. Dream. Thanks for being on the show.
I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, tell us some about your background. How did you come to be known as Dr. Dream? That's obviously something we're all curious about.
So, some years ago, I had I guess my awakening. I was living in Sedona, Arizona, and one day I literally and figuratively, woke up and said, okay, what am I doing here? And I didn't have an answer, a good answer to that question. What I realized was what I was conditioned and programmed to do is what I was doing. And I looked at my life and I said, okay, based on what I've been told and how I've been conditioned, I've made it. Here I am living in Sedona in a big house. I 2 cars. I could only drive one at a time. I had a good business, but it wasn't fulfilling. And what I realized was at that point, the game was, okay, now that everything's covered for you, all that's left is for you just to learn how to make more money, and you'll need a bigger house, and you'll need more expensive cars, and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, this is a trap. And I was headed to Burning Man that year up in the Nevada desert. And I'd been there several times before, and I set my intention of how do I live my life in my path and mission. And during that week, I got all these downloads or realizations or epiphanies, if you will. And I came back and I went on the speaker circuit with a program called Dream the Biggest Dream. And after just 2 events, people started calling me Dr. Dream. And I thought, well, this works. And people have always remembered the name easier and everything like that. And one of the things that it allowed me to do was to step outside of what Mark Peebler is here for. And myself as Mark Peebler is here, like every other human, to have the experiences that are needed to grow, expand, and evolve based on the why of my existence. And so it's been really a fascinating journey. It goes back now. We started the Tour of Love in 2010, January of 2010. And a few nights ago here in Palo Alto, California, we did our 625th group energetic experience that I've facilitated since January of 2010. So it's I feel very fortunate that I've identified the why of my existence, and we're just out here doing what we do, and it's been pretty amazing.
That's fascinating. A lot of shows and events. What have you been seeing over the past 3 or 4 years as energies have shifted? Everybody feels like they're going upwards, but they're also, to some degree, being more harsh, that, wow, this is a hard place to live. How do you balance those when you're talking to groups?
So the experience that we facilitate is really exciting because it is. I mean, I've been doing this for a while now. The experience is set up to really allow people a major expansion. So I've been doing this now for 10 years. Just as I think about it myself, the expansion that I've gone through and the evolution that this experience has gone through is incredible. What we're finding now is, and we're drawing audiences of 200, 300, 400, 500 people now. Obviously, in the beginning, we had times that I had one event out of those 625 where only one person showed up, but nowadays we're filling the venues that we go to, so it's showing us that people are really ready for this. People are looking for the opportunities to understand their why, the why of their existence. And the people that come to our events, I mean, I often refer to them as the ripe fruit that falls from the tree. I mean, they're ready. They're ready for an experience. They're open, and we're not just talking, Colorado, where everyone's, where it's a very open and expansive, energetic, or California. I mean, we're going all over the place, from small towns in Texas and Florida to Idaho and just all over the place. And so we really do get this amazing cross section of human beings, but what is shared, the common thread for all of them, is that they're actively searching for what their expansion is.
Oh, that's great. Do you get any pushback in any of, I'll say, the rural areas or the backwater areas from people with religious viewpoints who disagree? Do you run into any of that, or do the people need to find you, they just find you?
That is an excellent question. So I have been online in certain areas called a charlatan. We've been referred to as a cult. It's been wild, some of the comments, and it catches us off guard, because we're really, I'm just from the most pure place of the core of who I am and what I'm about, I do this. And in our experiences, people pay, they make a donation to be there. But at that point, then we offer no-charge counseling, telephone sessions, 30 minutes long. They can get unlimited sessions with us for no charge. We have a 21-day program. We give away for free with 4 phone calls, no charge. We give my cell phone number away, and people can call us at 3 in the morning, again, no charge. And so there is this energetic of what we do that we're very connected to. And so when we get those kinds of overlays and projections from outside of us, it completely catches us off guard. We've had people, not very much, but we've had some people leave after an hour of the experience, and it's fascinating how people, when they're deep in their stuff, they have no grip on what's really happening. We've had people say, oh, all it is just, selling us coaching. And it's funny because I don't do any coaching for money. And so nobody can ever pay me to do coaching. I give it away to everyone for free. And so, people just kind of get in their stuff. So that is one of the other things that we've seen. We actually make it a part of the experience, is this lesson of how to let go of your expectations so you can really be present for what's truly happening. And it fits really well with our experience, but bigger than that, it fits really well with all of our individual lives, because our lives haven't shown up the way any of us thought they would. I mean, when you were 5 or 6 years old, whatever you thought your life was going to be, I'm pretty sure that you're not living that right now. And
I'm not a pirate. So no, no, I'm not a pirate. I have seen some princesses and some jugglers running around, though. I do see them occasionally.
I used to say I must have been a juggler in the past life, the way my financial roller coaster is in this life. So it's funny how some of that plays out. I cleared that energy now. No longer interested in being that kind of a juggler. But it's a beautiful thing for us, and those. I did have one woman. I think it was in Indiana. That the experience is 3 hours long, and this woman literally heckled me for 3 hours. And she was just having the absolute worst time ever, and she didn't want to be there for nothing. And so it was a classic case of not letting go of her expectations. Probably thought we were going to play bowls for 3 hours, and it's not that kind of experience. It's really a unique experience. And at the end, another woman came up to me and was talking to me and just completely cornered me and was just wanted to know everything and how to apply all of this to her life and all of this. And the woman that had heckled me during the experience came up, and she was giving me a hard time again. And I said, I said, you could have left. You could have left any time during the experience. I'm sorry you didn't let go of your expectations, but you didn't have to be there. And she looked at me and she said, I would have loved to have left, but my friend that you're talking to not right now wouldn't leave for anything. And so it was just a classic example of one woman having the worst time of her life, another person having the most incredible time of her life, and the experience that they were sharing was exactly the same. And so, it's that same thing in reality. We can all, two people can look at something in reality and it can lift one person up, and the other person, based on whatever their experience or projections and overlays, it can drop them. And so we do see a little bit of that along the way, but mostly what we see and what we experience is people that are so thrilled we're there, in such gratitude and so open and willing and ready to receive and then make appropriate changes in their own lives. And that is encouraging.
Well, so much of what we do, we create our own reality. And it's interesting that you tell people, okay, we want to drop your expectations, i.e. get rid of your expectation about what your reality is going to look like and be open to what can really come to you if you have a higher awareness to sort of reshape your expectations.
It's a great life lesson, because it's that thing. We can get so caught in what we think it should be and put so much energy on that and just start looping on it that even if there is matching in our lives, we'll miss it because we're not allowing it to break through whatever the wall we've put up is, whatever the block we've put up.
Yeah, Jason, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. You're good. It was funny because you guys are talking about letting go of expectations, and the only question that I can think of right now is what to expect at your event. So just give us a rundown of what it's like, and having been to an event with a couple of years ago, it was I would describe it more as an experience. And we often find when we get to know people and we get close with them and their presentations that there's so many layers to what they do, and that is very clearly part of what your events are. So just give us kind of the rundown, Dr. Dream.
Absolutely. It's funny, Jason, you kind of send me into a conundrum there of, okay, we're letting go of our expectations, but now let's attach some expectations in it. So I love that.
Yeah, I'm the comic relief in this case. So yeah.
That's perfect. And so we call it an experience. We don't call it a sound bath. Actually, we go out of our way not to call it a sound bath. or to call it a performance. It's an experience in that we really pull people into a process. Because we lead with the number of bowls, we do have people showing up with like yoga mats and a pillow, and they're just sure we're going to play these, 33 or 111 or 333 bowls for 3 hours, and they're just going to lay there and surfing the etheric highways and byways of their own mind, and it's like, oh, nothing's further from the truth than that. And so, but what happens is the bowls are played for, out of the 3-hour experience, for about a third of it. So the bowls are played for about an hour. We take people through a process using the chakra system as a model. We take people through a process of understanding what aspects of our reality are attached to which chakras, and then that gives us a point of focus that then it's no longer nebulous. So if you've got something going on in your life and you know that it has to do with your sacral chakra and, say, your solar plexus, all of a sudden now you can do something with it. And we give people the tools, the techniques with the tools in the experience. And so the experience is with the Tibetan healing bowls. We combine it with 7 flavors of chakra chocolate. So one flavor for each chakra that is an energy that creates a movement in that chakra. And then we use an essential oil that also supports that chakra. And then between 5 and 24 of us are walking through the audience, depending on how many bowls we're using, are walking through the audience with the particular bowl for that chakra. So there'd be between 5 and 24 of us walking around with root chakra bowls, or with the sacral bowl. And so then after that chakra, we bring them into the next chakra, introduce the chocolate, introduce the oil, and then we bring up some things with the next chakra, and then again we walk around with the bowls. So it really flows. The experience really flows. The chakra system is the point of focus, and then we're also taking a look at old paradigms. And lots of people out there like to talk about old paradigms, but not a lot of people are introducing new paradigms to take their places. And so that's a big part of our experience, because the ascension process, while I can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like, I can most definitely share with you it's not going to look anything like this reality. And based on that, we're all in the process of taking a look at the way we live, the belief systems we live by, the paradigms that we widely accept, and are those serving us? And what we find is there's a whole lot of paradigms right now that are at the end of their lifespan, or need to be at the end of their lifespan, and new paradigms introduced to take their place. And that's a big part of what the experience is about. So lots of information. We give the notes away for free. People can send me an email and get the notes from the experience. We're literally the people that rent chairs and bring them into yoga studios. We don't keep the room. We like the rooms to be a little on the lighter side, the air conditioning to be, the temperature to be a little on the cooler side. We don't want anyone dozing off. I'll give you an example. I had 2 of the greatest compliments for this experience from 2 different gentlemen on opposite sides of the country, but the story was remarkably similar. At one of the events at a hospital on the East Coast, a man came up to me after the experience and said, I'm here because of my wife. My wife, she's the one that organized this event. He said, I really didn't want to come, but because that's her role, I needed to be here. And he looked at me and he said, when I saw it was 3 hours, I really didn't want to come. The man looked at me and he says, after listening to you for the last 3 hours, I could sit here right now for another 3 hours and listen to you some more. And that, to me, was the ultimate compliment. Number one, he didn't have to come up and say anything. Number two, it was authentic, raw, and real. And number three, if I've always felt like if I'm asking people to sit there for 3 hours, I best make it a very entertaining, flowing experience that doesn't have people like looking at their watch. When it's over, I want people to say, "What? That was 3 hours?" and that's the kind of energetic that we get. And so it's I'm hoping that in a nutshell I was able to describe it. It is one of the more challenging things to do is to really describe how the experience is. Certainly in our ads and our flyers, it's a tough thing to do. I guess it's a little easier for me to talk about it.
So it's true because and you did a great job of that. Obviously, 600 plus shows will get you into a good place to be able to describe it. But it really is the journey that it is for each person, along the way. But it truly is an experience, and it's completely immersive. And the story behind the bowls themselves, and then the chocolate, and then the oils. I mean, there's a backstory for everything. So it's just it's an evening, and it takes that time to get to that point of understanding, what's going on. One of the greatest parts of what you do is how you're supporting those that are creating the bowls. Can you share a little bit of that story with us?
Yes. We are in a sacred economic agreement. We don't have time to share the entire story, but there's 1,500 bowl makers in Nepal that we work with. And what they do is they make bowls. So they supply us with bowls. They send us at times up to $250,000 worth of bowls at a time. And we don't pay the shipping up front, let alone the bowls. And so it's a sacred economic agreement, and our end is, it's changed since the beginning of the agreement. It used to be we send $5,000 a month. At this point, we send between $10,000 and $12,000 every month, and that's how the payments are made to the 1,500 bowl makers. And so it's an agreement that is symbolic of, it trashes an old paradigm. The old paradigm is you have to have money to make money. And so that's one of the things. And so we look at old paradigm business, where if you're good in old paradigm business, it's because you're a negotiator and you negotiate a better end of the deal. That's what old paradigm successful business people were about. But that's not really appropriate anymore for new paradigm. It's not about, how can we get the better end of the deal. And so the new paradigm is, creating these win-win-win scenarios. We've never signed a contract. We've been doing this for years. We've never signed a contract with them. It's all based on trust and honesty, and it works. It's amazing, and there are arrangements like this out there in the world. 20 years ago, I had 200 ladies in Guatemala working with me, crocheting hemp products for a six-figure contract we had with the Body Shop. And so I've been doing this kind of outreach. It isn't the first time, and it's a beautiful part of looking at the world and looking at how things work and creating different ways of doing things. I mean, what's happening here? I mean, for us, we're getting a lot of bowls out there. Well, there's a lot of different ways to get a lot of bowls out there. And this is a really I mean, it just goes along with the way we do the experience. People can get a bowl on a payment plan at our event, and we accept whatever payment plan they tell us. The price of the bowl is the price of the bowl, but we let people, for one bowl, they can tell us what their monthly payment is and what their down payment is. Who does that? I mean, it's like unheard of. I have people coming up and just in tears because now they're able to get a bowl that they weren't able to get before, because the bowls can run $300-400, and they weren't able to ever get one before, and now that they can make a $20 a month payment, they can get a bowl. So it's not unusual. We've had events in Florida where at the end of the night, we're packing up 333 bowls. We had 500 people there earlier in the evening, and as we're packing up, we know that there are 85 bowls being played in and around Miami, because that's how many bowls left us that night. And that's a pretty amazing feeling. First of all, it's not a lot of fun to pack up 333 bowls, so it's kind of fun to have some nice things to think about, and thinking that there's 85, because someone gets a bowl, they go home, what are they doing with it? They're playing it. They're putting it on their body. They're showing it to their family. And we're sitting there packing up with 10 people helping us, and there's 85 bowls being played all around Miami or Houston or Austin or whatever the city is. And that's pretty amazing. And so I've been called the Johnny Appleseed of our time. We go to all these communities. We anchor all this energy. We offer support after the fact. So not only are we planting seeds, but then we're offering a maintenance program where we'll water, prune, and help the tree grow at no charge. It's wild how this works. I mean, in my wildest dreams, if you had shown me 15 years ago, here's what you're going to be doing in your life, and I'd be like, Dr. Who? Dr. Dream? What's that? The whole thing. And doing this, I mean, Stephanie, my partner Stephanie and I do this together, and there isn't a week that goes by that we're not crying in gratitude at least 2 times. A lot of times it's at 1 or 2 in the morning when we're driving back from an event. We've just given everything we have to give and everything we have to share, and we're just looking at each other a bit on the tired side, but so energized, so full of that feeling when you're doing exactly what you know you're to be doing based on the why of your existence, just brings me to the most beautiful happy tears ever.
I love it.
That's great. Well, I think we're about at our break here. So we're going to take a few minutes off, and we'll be right back. So please stay with us to return to talking to Dr. Dream. Thank you.
Discover Your Spiritual Gifts has readers available every day starting at 10 a.m., Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We offer 30-minute readings for $50 and 60-minute readings for $90. You can make an appointment or just stop on in for availability. Call ahead at 720-573-4275.
Well, welcome back to the show. Thank you for listening, and we're going to talk to Dr. Dream some more about his experiences.
Dr. Dream, I know in one of the events, because I've attended several of your events, and I love your events, you talk about your friend and his experience with the bowl that kind of got you started on this journey. Can you share kind of that experience that he had with the bowls and what people can experience by using these bowls that may not think that they're as powerful as they are in the healing and releasing and letting go and really connecting?
Absolutely. Originally, there was a gentleman that I met that came to one of my retreats up in Washington State, and people could come in early and have an experience with me. And at that point, I'm known as a multiple modality holistic healing practitioner, and there's 17 or 18 different tools and modalities that I use, and Tibetan bowls were just one of them. And at that point, this was 5 years ago or something, at that point I was traveling with 3 Tibetan healing bowls, a far cry from the between 600 and 800 that we travel with now. But I, as a multiple modality practitioner, people could come in and have a session. A gentleman came in and had a session. He was duly moved, and his world was rocked. And within a couple months, he bought his own Tibetan healing bowl from eBay, and it came directly from Kathmandu. He was in just a very deep process in his life. A lot of things were going on, and so he was really looking for something to help him expand beyond where he was at. And the bowl arrived, and he was really in a tough state. His girlfriend had broken up with him. His dog was in the process of transitioning. And he had an hour and 45-minute experience that night that literally just changed him. And he basically, for an hour and 45 minutes, put a bowl on his heart, and it was a heart bowl, and he struck it with a mallet for almost 2 hours. And the level of realizations that he experienced was unbelievable to him. And that's really how all of this started. I mean, it's a little more involved of a story, of course, but it all started because one person was introduced to the bowls and then went off in that direction, and it really was a game changer for them. And now here we are, in front of hundreds of people at a time and thousands of people a year, with the bowls and supporting 1,500 bowl makers in 2 villages. And it's just interesting how, where things can go when they're, gently guided and nurtured.
It is. It's really kind of a powerful story. And, the other thing that I love about your story is you talk about, I was never trained on how to use a bowl. I've just been guided intuitively. This is how I play them. And I know here in the space when people come in and they're attracted or they resonate with these different types of bowls, they're hesitant because they don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to play them. And it's really not that complicated. Doesn't have to be to really take these bowls and integrate them and use them and play them and do all that.
It's really, we have at any particular event between 60 and 200 bowls out for people to play with. Those aren't even the bowls we use for the experience. Those are literally the bowls that are looking to be adopted, and then people will stay an hour and a half after the experience playing with the bowls and laying on the floor and putting the bowls on them and just we want people to play and just kind of let go of the need to be perfect and kind of go back to the inner 4 or 5 year old that just, we'd pick up anything and play with it and have fun with it. It didn't matter if we weren't doing it perfectly, in air quotes, or something like that. We were just having fun, and we want people to have fun. By the way, a rubber mallet covered in felt and a metal bowl, you can't hurt these things. So it's like you really can't even do anything wrong. There are things you can do to get a better sound, and that's what people pick up on within the first couple of minutes of holding a bowl. We don't do the stick around the rim. These bowls are literally made as bells, and so we use a mallet, and it's as easy as striking a gong. It's as easy as striking a bell. So anyone can play these bowls. We put a call out in all the communities we go to for angels. It's Dr. Dream and the Band of Angels. And the Band of Angels are people from the local community that we invite in to assist us. We can't play 333 bowls on our own. Actually, we need 44 people to assist us to play that many bowls. A 33 bowl event, we have 4 people as angels. And we train people from 8 to 80 years old. Some people we train to play the bowls, and some are oil angels or chocolate angels. But it's this beautiful opportunity for people to take the experience to like another level. It's one thing to sit there and be a participant in the audience. it's a whole nother thing to get there 2 hours before, learn how to play the bowls, learn how we do the experience and how all the energy works, and then to be, for the 3-hour experience, to be a facilitator. It's fascinating. I've had people travel 6-7 hours driving to be an angel at our experiences. It's that powerful of an experience. And so it really is fun what we get to do. And there's so many opportunities for people. It really is a positive experience that we're fortunate to bring to communities all over the country.
What are some of the beautiful places or interesting places that you've been able to go with these bowls, and just to be able to reach out and touch people? Because I know you're constantly traveling and you're moving a little bit of everywhere. We love it that you come to town once a year, but I know that keeps expanding because I see you on Facebook and all these different places doing these events. Can you share with us some of the places you've been, or where you're going, or where you see this leading to?
Well, we've come a long way since January of 2010, and we go everywhere. I mean, we literally will go anywhere that people want us to go. We are in a new city. In general, we're in a new city every 3 to 7 days. And we do 1 to 3 events every week. It's wild. We pull a 40-foot, we call it our sanctuary on wheels. It's a travel trailer. And so for us, it's kind of the lap of luxury, Tempur-Pedic mattress, everything. It's what makes it possible to live this nomadic lifestyle. And it works really well for both Stephanie and myself. What we love is that when you're in a new city every 3 to 5 days, it's pretty easy to find something cool about that community. Okay? Some communities have, a lot more going for it, but we always find something that we like. And we're there for such a short amount of time that it really is easy. We spend 3 months a year in Florida. And that's been kind of the new thing the last couple of years, and we really, really love Florida. We've had our largest audiences there, 500 for a solo event. We've done the event for 2,500 people out in Joshua Tree in California, but for a solo event that's just us, we've had our largest audiences there. We're now getting very large audiences in Texas. But we go all over. We and that's what makes it fun. I mean, we're seeing this country and meeting people and having all these experiences. Funny little story of how life on the road works when you live like we do. You all wake up in the morning and you're in your home and you know exactly where you are. I'm hoping that that's the case.
I had a little issue with that today.
So for us, I wake up, there are mornings that I wake up and I know I'm in my home. All right, we don't have another home anywhere. This is it. This is our sanctuary on wheels. I know I'm in my sanctuary on wheels. But there's a moment there, sometimes it can last up to almost a minute, where I'm not sure where I am. I'm not sure where I parked my home. Like you wake up in your home, you know where you are in Colorado, where your home is. I wake up in my home sometimes, and it happens more when we're driving somewhere, and so we're driving, spend the night. I wake up, and it takes me a little bit like, okay, where was our last city, and so where does that make this city we're in now? And it's just an odd experience waking up in the morning and being in familiar surroundings, like my favorite mattress and everything, but not quite being sure exactly where you parked it.
Well, I love your story of your hot tub. Have you got a beautiful hot tub to use? Are you still using your hot tub?
We are. There are times we use it more than others. One of the big things for us in this lifestyle, I loved taking a bath. I love taking baths. And actually, when I was in the working world and working in the matrix and regular job, I'd take a bath every morning. I'd take a shower every morning, but I'd start off in the bathtub, and it was kind of like my meditative time. Just I'm most comfortable in water. And so I get into the RV lifestyle, and unless you got about a $500,000 rig with a bathtub, you don't really find a bathtub out there. And so we don't have that type of rig. And I found that we were really missing it. And so one of the things we were doing was we started staying at a Hampton Inn one night a month. We get the jacuzzi suite. And we would soak for like 6 or 8 hours, Epsom salts, hot water, the whole thing. And soaking in water really is good. It nurtures the emotional body, the relationship body, both of which are very important to us out here in this lifestyle. And we got to the point where it was like one night a month is not enough to be soaking. And we found a portable hot soaking tub online. And it sets up, I can have the whole thing set up in about an hour. And then it's a propane heating system. It takes 2 hours to heat up. We get it to about 100, 102. And then it's 5 foot across and deep. We dump a 4 or 5 pound bag of Dr. Teal's Epsom salts in there, and we soak for 2 hours. We keep it in a 10 by 10 pop-up with the sidewalls, so no one knows what we're doing. Because most places, when we've had some of the RV parks know that it's a hot tub, they ask us to take it down for liability reasons or something like that. But so we got to the point where we would be soaking like 10 or 15 nights out of the month instead of just that one night. And it's been absolutely amazing for us because, I mean, a lot of the RV parks have jacuzzis and this and that, but they're chlorinated and everything. And we try and watch all of that. So yeah, the traveling with the portable hot tub in this lifestyle, nothing feels quite more luxurious than that.
I love it. I love it.
I used to do a lot of corporate travel, and we always aimed for hotels, if I had my way, that had a spa or something. And, you know, we'd always joke, we'd land off the airplane, go check in, and then we'd have Dave's soup because I'd be down in the hot tub soaking.
That's funny. I love it. It's just an opportunity for me to get more grounded and everything. I'll tell you the other thing that we've done. Last December, we picked up a drone. So we've got one of these drones with the nice camera and everything like that. And we've got, I'm a bit of I was a professional photographer for years, so photography is a natural for me. But after 4, 5, 6 hours of driving, pulling a 40-foot trailer with the big truck and just all that entails, we'll get to an RV park, and if it's still nice enough outside and enough light, I'll go out there and put the drone up. And it completely it's like a reset for me. It's not driving. It's not being Dr. Dream. It's really me tapping into my inner child and getting high in the air with the drone and just having an amazing time. And so it's because we live full time on the road, and it's not like, oh, we're doing a summer tour, so, pedal to the metal, and we'll sleep in Walmart parking lots and all this because it's our 3-month tour and we're going to go full bore. We stay in RV parks every night. We like to get in at about 3 or 4 in the afternoon so we can set up, make a nice dinner, have a little bit of time, maybe go for a bike ride. This is our life. And so life on the road for us, we find the time and we make the time to have fun and to have our own personal experiences also. It's just, I know the life on the road, for some people, they hear this and they're like, oh my God, I wouldn't want to do that for nothing. And for us, I know that one day we'll settle down, and it will be in Colorado because we love it, and my daughter lives there now. But honestly, at this point, it wouldn't make any sense for us to get any land in Colorado because we're just not ready to stop and plant ourselves for any amount of time. And so we continue to get an amazing response out there. Every place that we do an event at wants to book us before we even leave the venue for the following year. And so that's always a good sign that we're doing right by the communities we're stopping in.
That sounds like a lot of wonderful opportunities you have. I'm sure a lot of people are jealous of your footloose and fancy-free lifestyle. So do you carry all these bowls in your RV also, or do you have a separate support vehicle?
So the travel trailers are known for a small amount of storage space. So we've got a 40-foot travel trailer, and the closet is 2 feet wide by 3 feet tall. So it's hard to call it a closet. It's we each have a cupboard.
Yeah.
And so we had to get a Ram 3500. It's one of the biggest Dodge trucks. Not because what we're towing is so heavy. It's because we've got up to 800 bowls in the payload in the back of the truck, underneath the camper shell. And so all the bowls are kept in the truck. So we are one very tight unit of the 40-foot trailer being pulled by this big Dodge Ram, and everything of ours is here in these 2 vehicles. Now, sometimes, like my daughter came out and visited us in San Francisco a few days ago, and so we got a storage unit here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And because we have 2 bedrooms, and so when we have people stay with us or we need the extra help and we have some people stay with us, we do end up needing to get a temporary storage unit just to be able to have enough room. But when it's just the 2 of us, we make our way. We're looking to add between 4 and 6 people to the tour full time. We won't be making that happen until January. Exciting news. We're going to Nepal. We've never met our people there. We've never met the 1,500 bowl makers. We've never met Kumar, our man on the ground there. And so we're going to Nepal for the first time. We're going to spend 3 weeks in Nepal. We're taking a 5-week trip. I mean, can you believe it? Here we are, new city every 3 to 5 days and all this, and the energetic of taking 5 weeks off without our comfort level, the truck, the trailer, and everything. We get so used to stuff, but it's wild, and we get to go over there, and we'll take a lot of videos and pictures, and we're pulling some projects together for both communities, and so we'll have extended information and stories, and we'll get to connect face to face with the peoples whose lives we're having a direct impact on.
Yeah, I have a whole set. I have an octave of the big bowls that I use in my healing work, and I like the handmade bowls versus machine-made bowls. They have their own characteristic on each and every bowl. Can you talk a little bit about the process of how they make those? I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's really interesting to us. Our gentleman over there takes terrible pictures, and truthfully, the only thing worse than his photos are his videos. And so we've never had quite the clarity on exactly how it happens. It looks like a very rudimentary process, but the bowls are all hand-hammered, and you can literally take your thumb and forefinger around the edge of the bowl and feel that. And it's a different, it's not as smooth as a machine bowl. The bowls are all made with a combination of metals. Traditionally, they say that it's a combination of 7 metals, but it's an interesting energetic. I don't know if you're all familiar with the Mexican mole sauces. It's spelled M-O-L-E. And every family, every grandmother in Mexico has their own version of their mole sauce. And they never tell anyone exactly what's in it. They'll say, oh, it has a little this, a little that. But they never, like the secret ingredient, they never say anything. And I kind of liken the bowls to that. None of the villages ever say, oh, here's the exact formula of how we create the bowls and everything. But they do have we get a combination of metals. So we know that of the 1,000 kilos, there are several different metals in there. The bowls are all master healing grade, and what master healing grade means is that when you strike the bowl on the side with a mallet, that it will resonate, that it will vibrate, make a sound for more than 45 seconds. And that's the widely accepted criteria of what makes a bowl master healing grade. So because of that, we know that not all bowls are master healing grade. The hand-hammered bowls tend to be more in master healing grade than the machine bowls. And we've had bowls that go for minutes, not just the 45 seconds, but literally minutes. We've had bowls big enough that you can stand in, and we strike it, and you just feel from your feet going all the way up to your crown the vibration and the resonance of the bowls. And so they really are very special. We've had been doing this for a while, and we've gotten a lot of bowls out there. People that love bowls come to our events, and they love to get our bowls. And so they really are, just in comparison with what's out there, these are very special bowls. And when you think about it, I mean, we've been doing this now for a while. So these people are making these bowls knowing the arrangement, knowing that they're getting monthly payments from us. So all that energy is going into the bowls, all the goodwill, all the things that we do for them, and just how their role in this is to just stay at that level of making the finest bowls ever. And it's a beautiful thing. And so, yeah, our bowls are very special, and people, as soon as they walk in, before we even play a bowl, people feel that energy. It's hard not to when you're in a room with between, 60 and 500 bowls. It's hard not to feel that energy all around you. But it really is, I believe, that these bowls are infused with the heart and the soul of these people, and we're all in such a beautiful interaction together that it just, from my perspective, raises the energy that's attached to these bowls.
Oh, that's great. Well, this has been a fascinating discussion today. I think we're just about done. I want to thank you on behalf of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts for being our wonderful guest today. You've probably given people a lot of stuff to think about, and we certainly want to encourage all of our listeners to look for opportunities to come to your event. They're obviously just a wonderful experience. I'll have to look for one because I haven't done it. I'll fess up. But I'll make that one of the things on my bucket list to come to your event. So I look forward to it.
I love that you said that about bucket lists, because we call these bucket list experiences because people just don't have the opportunity to have an experience like this with this many bowls. And it's been a real pleasure to be on the show here, and we feel so fortunate to have been connected with all of you at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, and it just keeps expanding for us. And so very much looking forward to bringing our experience back to your location. And people can find out a little more about us and our tour and the dates and everything by going to www.touroflove.com, because we're truly presenting the Tour of Love all over this country.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being on the show. I think Violet had to step out, but this has been a great show. And Jason, do you have anything?
No, I guess I do have one thing. Go check out the website, folks, and see where that event is coming near you. Because if you haven't already experienced this, it's something that you owe it to yourself to take part in. I don't like it when I'm not in town when Dr. Dream makes his way through, that's for sure. Dr. Dream, thank you so much, man, for being with us today and sharing your story and for all the great things that you're doing. I know you're living the cool lifestyle as a result of it, but you're bringing a lot of joy and a lot of benefit to a lot of people. So thank you for committing to it and pulling it off in such a great way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you to all our listeners. On our next show, we're going to have guest Pixie Engelhardt. She's going to be talking about a number of things for healing and also a lot of essential oils and blends that she makes that are very fascinating. So thank you for listening today. Please stay tuned. We're going to highlight several of our practitioners following this show, and they have very short stories, but very interesting stories. So thank you, and have a great week. Take care.
Hi, I'm Joyce Gerald. I am a trance channel. I do individual readings, but what I really love to do is teach people how to channel. I've been teaching channeling for about 11 years. I kind of stumbled into the teaching part because I had a client who came to me who wanted to channel, and she said that the only way she could do it is if she was hypnotized because she was terrified. So I was channeling Archangel Metatron for her, and he turned the tables on her and had her start channeling for me. She was absolutely fantastic, one of the best people I've seen. When she was finished with it, she was in tears because it's the first time she'd been able to do it without being hypnotized first. Her guides had asked me if I would start a class to help support her so that she would be comfortable channeling around other people. And so I said, okay, I would teach channeling. So I did a little research and gathered several people to attend the first class. We were all very excited. So I said that she was supposed to bring me to the teaching part of what I do. I enjoy it immensely. Everyone channels in my classes. I have never had anyone who is unable to, but anyone who came in with the intention and the desire always was able to channel. And it's a really fun class. I'll be teaching classes here at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts beginning in March. I have 2 level 1 classes coming up and then a level 2 class. The level 1 class enables you to initially have those words come out of your mouth, but at that point you're not really able to attain that space and just start on your own. And so level 2 is further refining and practicing. They're all really fun classes. You get to listen to everyone else channel. You get to ask questions of the others who are there. So it's a really fun thing to do. You can find the details on the classes at the discoveryourspiritualgifts.com website. They also have a meetup, and they've also put all of my classes on Eventbrite.
Hi, this is Dave Barnett, better known as Dave the Mystic. I am a long-term aerospace engineer, but back in 1983, I had some events in my life that forced me to reconsider how reality works. I became involved in healing, channeling, meditation, and developing my psychic gifts. Over the years, I continued to work with these, and I had a wonderful opportunity in 2003 to take 4 years and really delve into all forms of healing, and along the way, other gifts showed up. I am now working at the center full-time, and I'm happy to offer work with past lives, with working with subconscious core beliefs. I do a lot of work with energy and entity clearing, and since I do this always long distance, I can do it all over the world. I also work with karma burning and with soul retrieval and soul splinter return. I'd be happy to work with you. Please feel free to give me a call here at the center, and we can set up an appointment. My direct phone number is 303-902-5323. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Dr. Melinda. We met. I'm just here to tell you guys a little bit about myself. My gifts emerged as a child. In my family, it wasn't really looked on as anything new or strange because there was a lot of people in my family that had the same gifts that I do. Grandmothers were scryers, and so mediumship is something that came naturally to me. The services I offer are I give mediumship readings and classes on metaphysics, also some classes on trance mediumship and healing. I'm available at DYSG, Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Monday through Friday and every other Saturday, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. And on Friday evenings from 12 until 8 p.m.
Discover connection, awaken sacredness, become empowered. Join us for our show on Blog Talk Radio.